Good morning, word of the day, 30 March 2026, Monday of the Holy Week. Reading of the day, or reading from the book of Isaiah 42, 1-7. He is my servant whom I uphold, my chosen one with whom I am pleased, upon whom I have put my spirit. He shall bring forth justice to the nation, not crying loud, not shouting, not making his word heard in the street. A bruised reed he shall not break, and a smoldering wick he shall not quench, until he establishes justice on the earth. The coastland will wait for his teaching. Thus say God the Lord, who created the heaven and stretched them out, who stretched out the earth with his rod, who gives bread to its people, and spirit to those who work on it. I, the Lord, have called you for the victory of justice. I have rushed you by the hand. I formed you and set you as the covenant of the people, a light for the nation, to open the eyes of the blind, to bring out prisoners from confinement, and from the dungeons those who live in darkness. The word of the Lord. Thanks to be God. Gospel of the day from the Gospel according to John 12, 1-11. Dear Lord, glory to you. 6 days before Passover, Jesus came to Bethany, where Lazarus was, whom Jesus had arisen from the dead. They gave a dinner for him there, and Martha served, while Lazarus was one of those reclining at table with him. Mary took a little of costly perfume oil made from genuine aromatic nard, and anointed the feet of Jesus and dried them with her hair. The house was filled with the fragrance of the oil. Then Judas Iscariot, one of his disciples, and the one who would betray him, said, "Why were this oil not sold for 300 days' wages and given to the poor?" He said this not because he cared about the poor, but because he was a thief and held the money back and used to steal the contribution. So Jesus said, "Leave her alone. Let her keep this for the day of my burial. You always have the bull with you, but you do not always have me." The Lazarus of the Jew found out that he was there and came, not only because of him, but also to see Lazarus, whom he had raised from the dead. And the chief priests plotted to kill Lazarus too, because many of the Jews were turning away and believing in Jesus because of him. The word of the Lord. Praise to you, O Lord. Reflection. For the poor Jesus, Judas Iscariot, the one who was about to betray him, said, "Why wasn't this perfume sold for 300 denarii and the money given to the poor?" John 12, 4-5. Reflection. From the logical point of view, Judas Iscariot seemed reasonable, and so one might blame Mary for being wasteful by using a whole pile of costly nard worth 300 denarii just to anoint Jesus' feet, while so many poor people were still in need. In reality, however, Judas' pride silence was contradicting what he truly intended in his heart. Only a few days later, he betrayed his master for a mere 30 pieces of silver. On the contrary, Jesus is the truly poor one, for though he was rich, he became poor for our sake, so that through his poverty we might become rich. Mary's act, no matter how generous, could never fully repay the poor Jesus. We are called to continue sharing generously with the poor around us because we recognize the poor Jesus present in them. Invitation. At times we may unknowingly act like Judah when we use very reasonable arguments to bargain or hold back in our worship of God, when we use charity as a way to seek personal gain or recognition, or when we give alms on one hand, but in our way of doing business, we oppress or exclude the poor and vulnerable on the other. Take time to examine yourself deeply so as to recognize and remove these misguided motivations. Live in the Word. Generously dedicate time each day to pray to God. Prayer, Lord, teach me to be generous with you so that I may be generous toward others. Thank you for listening.